In the next decade, artificial intelligence will be up to the level of an adult human being. By the year 2000, the machine will go beyond the capacity of the human mind in many areas. This television picture is the way the world is seen by the robot Shaky, a creation of the Artificial Intelligence section of the Stanford Research Institute of California. Shaky's task today is to push a box off a platform. He's just realized that to do this, he must get up on the platform himself, and he is pushing a rack into place for that purpose. This sounds very simple, the kind of thing that would be no trouble for a 4-year-old child. But when you consider that this problem is being thought out by a machine, you are beginning to understand the term artificial intelligence. Shaky still seems primitive, but he makes you think, particularly if you consider the speculations of one of the world's most respected science writers, Arthur C. Clarke.
Any machine that can make decisions, choices, which can behave in a way which is not predictable by its designers, and there are many machines like this now, has a very rudimentary form of artificial intelligence. The question is, how far will this intelligence develop? Will it become as intelligent? Will machines become as intelligent as we are, assuming that we are intelligent, and sometimes one doubts this? I think that most of the people in the computer field, certainly the younger people, believe that we will have intelligent machines, and there's no limit to the intelligence which machines may ultimately develop.
This is an automated factory. Computerized robots perform mechanical tasks much faster and with far greater precision than the humans they replaced. By the end of the century, manual work as we now know it will have been transformed beyond recognition.
Almost invariably, attempts to describe or predict the future have been incredibly conservative, short-sighted when one looks back on them. Scientific progress, technology, which is one way of measuring the future, I suppose, goes much further than anyone ever would have dreamed. One example I'm very fond of giving is predictions about the future of the motor car at the beginning of this century. It was pointed out that the automobile would be of no use except in the city because there were no roads outside the city. This is what I mean by failure of imagination. A fundamental invention can totally transform the future.
Are computers more intelligent than men? This computer, which plays tic-tac-toe at the Ontario Science Centre, has never lost a game. The best you can do is a tie. And if you get tired or make a slip, well, that's one up for the computer. Computers will invade the arts, just as they do every other part of our lives. In the future, artists may have to learn new skills of mathematics, mechanics, engineering, and programming in order to practice their craft.
I've energized a relay here, and this is the bank of amplifiers that drive the servo motors of the system, including...
The computer which created the Stargate corridor in the film 2001 was developed by the man behind these glasses, John Whitney. His 3 sons and his brother James have all used his machines to make computer films. The Whitneys are not inhibited by the specter of giant computer companies. They build their own.
They're hardly to be called computers because they're really specialized problem solvers. They were computers that were designed to compute only on one kind of an equation. For many years, I had been doing straight animation using the hand-drawing techniques or primitive forms of manipulation of artwork in one way or another. Some of the things that Norman McLaren has done, in fact, I've drawn on directly on film. And But it was only in the mid-50s when I began to see these devices that it became clear that there were great possibilities for developing animation machines that would manipulate design in ways that could never be done by hand. Is drawing almost a perfect circle here now. Many cycles later, it might be drawing a straight line path. The fact that it's putting this kind of motion as a series of images on one motion picture frame at a time means that it gets on the screen in quite a different way than it is here. The fact that this is a circle pattern does not mean that the image generated by this pattern will be a circle on the screen. It'll be some sort of a complex overlay pattern of a whole series of circles, or some sort of a flowing halftone pattern, possibly. I'm also working with the modern digital computer systems through my research grant from IBM. And there I am using a completely electrical, solid-state electronic system, which involves no mechanical moving parts to speak of. And there I get to the heart of the problem. There are mathematical equations that generate very, very elegant images, very, very elegant designs.
The computer field has gotten to the point where we do things, we build things, we make them work, and we've had very little understanding, but we're beginning to get a glimmering, and that glimmering is fantastically exciting. And why is it exciting? Well, because, not because, if you like, that we're going to build better computers, and not because we'll make them faster and so on, but because when we look around at the world, we see all kinds of phenomena, things that happen in this world that we've had difficulty understanding, that we're going to be able to explain with this new science that we haven't even thought of yet.
Next decade will see computers being applied everywhere. Rapid technological breakthroughs, particularly in the field of miniaturization of memory systems, will make today's most sophisticated machines look old-fashioned and cumbersome. Beyond that, speculation becomes less certain, more open to fanciful flights of imagination.
My feeling is that we are part of an evolutionary process leading to something which is completely mechanical, which is free of many of our other obvious limitations, but which will develop new types of consciousness. We have arisen from many earlier orders of life. The primitive man-apes, who are our ancestors, couldn't possibly imagine us or be aware of the kind of universe, the richness of experience and knowledge, which we take for granted. In precisely the same way, we can't imagine our successors. They're as much above us, whether they're organic or inorganic, as we are above the man-apes who preceded us.